Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Relief Tutorials. In the last two lectures, we have concluded that sound is a wave. What is wave? Wave is the motion of disturbance. There are two types of classification of waves we have seen. And finally, the conclusion was sound is mechanical longitudinal wave. What do you mean by mechanical wave? Mechanical wave means the wave which require a medium for propagation. Another type of wave was non-mechanical wave which do not require medium for propagation. There are two types of waves according to direction of oscillation and direction of propagation of wave: transverse waves and longitudinal waves. Transverse waves in which direction of oscillation of a particle is perpendicular to direction of propagation of wave. When these two directions are perpendicular, such type of waves are called as transverse waves. And when the direction of oscillation of a particle is parallel to direction of propagation of a wave, then such type of waves are called as longitudinal waves. So sound is a mechanical, means sound always require a medium for propagation, and in sound the direction of oscillation of a particle is parallel to direction of propagation of wave. This we have seen last time. Now some important characteristics of a wave to study. First of all, let us draw the graph for two types of waves. Transverse wave and longitudinal wave. First of all, transverse wave. See, we have taken the example previously also. In water ripples, the particles of water is oscillating vertically. The particles of water are oscillating vertically, up and down type of motion they are performing, and the wave goes in the right hand side direction, means like this, horizontal direction. So these two are perpendicular. Now let us see the whole process slowly, in detail. These are the water molecules. When these molecules disturbed externally, these molecules starts oscillating up and down. Be careful. Concentrate here. When these molecules shifted downwards, let us say halfway down, goes up to here. So at that time the energy of wave transfer to the next molecule. So this was the original position of a molecule. Molecule shifted slightly downwards. So this is the displacement of a particle from its original position. Meanwhile, when the particle is going down, at the same time energy is moving horizontally. Two types of motion you see here carefully. One, the motion of a particle, and second, the motion of wave, motion of disturbance, motion of energy. So when these molecules shift slightly downwards, at that time the energy moves like this. More downward, let us say the extreme downward position is here. At that time the energy transfer up to this one. So two distances to be measured. One, the displacement of a particle from mean position, from original position, this one. At the same time the distance travelled by a wave. Next, when the particle again comes upwards, so let us say when it reaches up to this point again, coming back to the original position, because this particle is oscillating. So when this particle again comes back or going towards the mean position, let us say here, so now the particle is again going to the mean position. Okay, but what do you think? The energy again coming back to mean position? No, energy goes in the horizontal direction. So again the particle reach up to this point, maybe mean, but the energy is going on. So when the particle is oscillating up and down from mean position, it goes downward, then upward, then downward, then upward, but at the same time, the energy goes always in the right hand side direction. So displacement is here was what? The mean position, displacement downward, displacement upward, but the particle is always going in the wave is always going in the right hand side direction. Okay, so this particle is displacing itself from mean position to downwards, and again to the mean position upwards. So the particle is going up and down, up and down. So when the particle is here, the energy was here. When the particle goes down, the wave goes in the horizontal direction. Again the particle come back to the original position, but the wave does not come back. Wave goes in the forward direction only. So of the particle, we are going to measure the displacement of a particle and distance traveled by wave. Displacement of a particle, when the particle is here, the displacement is 0 because the particle is still not shifted. When it goes downward, displacement is maximum. Again it goes to the mean position, again displacement is 0. When it goes upward, displacement again maximum, 0, maximum, 0, maximum. But distance increases and increases. So let us draw the graph for this. In transverse wave, we draw the graph of displacement of oscillating particle on y-axis, and on x-axis distance traveled by a wave. So in the initial position, the displacement is 0. This is 0. This is positive y-axis, this is negative y-axis, and this is only positive x-axis. Because distance only increases of a wave, and displacement up 0, down 0, that's why. So initially the displacement of a particle is 0 when it is not disturbed. Once it is disturbed, displacement increases, let us say displacement increases upward and then downward. So the particle's displacement increases, at that time the distance of a wave increases. So it goes like this, then the particle's displacement decreases, so it comes back like this, then again goes down, then up, then down, and then up like this. So this is the graph. Don't misunderstood that this is, I am not drawing the structure of wave, I am drawing the graph of displacement versus distance. Displacement of oscillating particle and distance traveled by a wave. Okay, so this is y-axis and this is x-axis. Okay. So this is a graph of transverse wave. In this graph, the peak point, this point is called as crest. In the graph, the peak point, here is a crest, here is a crest, here is the crest, and the downmost point is called as trough. Okay, this one. Same way we can draw the graph of longitudinal wave. See, yesterday we have taken the example of longitudinal wave. The sound wave is the best example for that. Consider this is one of the source of sound, still not working, means somebody is not speaking there. So these are the air layers, we can suppose, having the normal density of air. And also we discussed that if the source of sound is now working, means the person is speaking now, then what do you imagine the layer of air becomes? So here you can suppose the highest density of air, having the least density, more density again, we have discussed that this region is called as compression and this one is called as rarefaction. So compression, so at this moment, here is the compression. At the very next moment, here will be the rarefaction. Next moment, again compression. So what happens when I speak here? Compression, rarefaction goes on. In this way, the sound propagates in the surrounding. So remember, sound propagates in the form of compression and rarefaction. Now, how can we draw the graph for that? See, no matter. See, here is a compression. Here the density is more than normal. Maximum density. Here the density is less than normal. So here the density is maximum. At the very next moment, the density become normal and least. Again normal and maximum. Normal, least, normal, maximum. So here what is happening? Right now this is the highest density region, compression. Then the density decreases to form normal to least to normal to maximum. So actually density is going maximum, normal, minimum, normal, maximum. So on the y-axis of the graph, we are taking density, or you can take pressure. Here the pressure is maximum, then becomes normal to minimum to normal to maximum. So about normal, up and down, the pressure or density is oscillating. And here again we can take distance traveled by wave. It is same as transverse wave. Okay, so initially density is normal to maximum to normal to minimum to this way. So this is density maximum and this is density minimum, and here is density original. This point where the density is maximum is called as compression. This point is also called as condensation. This point where the density is minimum is called as rarefaction. So sound wave propagates in the form of compression, rarefaction. Now, in these graphs, some topics to be studied. Some terms. The first term, amplitude of a wave. What do you mean by amplitude of a wave? Maximum displacement of a wave from mean position. In both the graph, these line indicates the mean position. Now wave goes maximum up to this point, then again goes down, maximum on this side. So what is the maximum displacement? I think this is the maximum displacement of a wave from mean position. It is like this, that this is one of the oscillating particle. This is its mean position. It is going to oscillate up and down. So it goes up maximum, original, and then again down maximum. So what do you think? The particle goes, for example, 5 centimeter in the upward direction, maximum. So what distance it will cover in the downward direction? Will it be 5 or more or less than 5? It will be always 5. So particle covering equal displacement in both the direction, and this maximum displacement is called as amplitude. So same logic is here again, the same thing. The wave initially was stationary. You can take the example of rope. If you remember, here the rope is tied here, one of the hand is in my hand. So I have the rope is here. Now this is the, right now the rope is not having the wave structure because I am not giving any oscillation. Now I am starting to give oscillation in the upward, mean, downward, upward, this way. So whatever the displacement I am taking, let us say this is the mean position, and now I am taking the rope 5 centimeter up, 0, 5 centimeter down, 0, 5. So maximum displacement from original position is 5, so amplitude is 5. So amplitude means maximum displacement of a wave from its mean position. Amplitude symbolized by A, and its unit is centimeter or meter, because it is one type of distance. It should be measured in terms of centimeter. Here, what is the amplitude? 5 centimeter. Here, what is the amplitude? This distance is called as amplitude. See, don't misunderstood between crest and amplitude. Crest means the point. The peak point is called as crest. The peak point is that point is called as crest, but the distance is called as amplitude, and amplitude you can measure in any one of the directions from mean position. The perpendicular distance should be. In this here also, this is what the amplitude. The peak point is called as compression, but the distance is called as amplitude. Second point, second important thing is wavelength. Wavelength. In this drawing, can you see that this is one wave starting from this point? It goes up, mean, then goes down, and here. So what is one wave? One wave is this, from this point to this point. If you think about the rope again, rope is here. It goes up, then mean, then down, and then mean. So one oscillation completed. So when this particle completes one oscillation, one wave is formed here. So this is nothing but the distance of one wave. This distance is called as one wave, and that length is called as one wavelength. This length is called as wavelength distance. Here also, from this point to this point, this distance is called as wavelength distance. If you start to measure a wavelength, it's one type of length. We are measuring the length of one wave. Anyhow, if you measure a wavelength from this point to this point, doesn't matter, it will be same. If you measure the wavelength from crest to crest, this distance is also will be the one wavelength distance. Trough to trough, this distance also will be the one wavelength distance. Wavelength is symbolized by lambda. Symbol is lambda. Symbol of amplitude is A. Here you can write A is equals to 5 centimeter. Wavelength is symbolized by lambda. Symbol for wavelength is lambda. Look at the symbol. It's like this. Okay. So here also, if you measure the wavelength from this point to this point, or you can measure the wavelength from compression to compression, from rarefaction to rarefaction, doesn't matter. Each length is its wavelength, symbolically lambda. So this is one lambda, this is also lambda, and this is lambda again. Okay, so wavelength symbolized by wavelength means length of one wave. Length of one wave, anyhow you measure it as we discussed. What is the unit? In which terms it should be measured? Wavelength is measured in terms of centimeter, meter, and one important unit, angstrom. Angstrom. One angstrom is equals to 10 raised to minus 10 meter. It's very small unit of measuring length. Angstrom, 1 angstrom is 10 raised to minus 10 meter, because wavelength of many waves are too short. Very short wavelength waves are there. So to measure such a short wavelength, we have one of the unit called angstrom. One more, third important term is periodic time. You can see it's a time. Time for what? Time to complete one wave. Time to complete one oscillation, whatever you say. What is the time required to complete one oscillation of a particle? Same time will be required to complete one wave. You can imagine here the particle is when it completes one oscillation, one wave is completed. So periodic time means time required to complete one wave. I am not writing the definition, but you can write while I am speaking here that time required to complete one oscillation of a particle or time required to complete one wave is called as its periodic time. Periodic time is symbolized by T. And because it is time, its unit is second. If I give you one example, let us say this is one of the particles. It goes up, then mean, then down, and then mean. So that oscillation completed. Let us say the time required to move from mean position to upward, it takes 0.2 seconds. It is a time required to move from mean to just upwards. It is not one oscillation. It is not one vibration. It is not one wave. So if I ask you, what should be the time required to complete one oscillation? Say 0.2 seconds to go upwards, then 0.2 seconds to come back to the mean, so 0.4, then goes down again, 0.2 again, means 0.6, and then again come back to original, again 0.2, means total time is 0.8 seconds to complete one oscillation. So this is its periodic time. Periodic time means time required to complete one oscillation or one wave. Okay. Next term is frequency. Symbol for frequency is, look at this symbol, it is nu, N-U. Symbol. Now what do you mean by frequency? If you want to write the definition, frequency means number of waves completed in 1 second, or you can say number of oscillations performed by the particle in 1 second. Means in 1 second how many waves are produced, or in 1 second how many oscillations the particle is completing. In this example we have seen that total time required to complete one wave was 0.8 seconds. Total time required to complete one oscillation was 0.8 seconds. Means in 0.8 seconds how many oscillations are completed? 1. So how many oscillations it can perform in 1 second? That will be the answer of what? Frequency. Wave frequency means number of waves completed in 1 second. If I say, consider this is one of the particles. It goes upward in 0.1 second. Then two answers I want from you. What is T? T means periodic time. So periodic time means time required to complete one oscillation. So this is 0.1 to go upward, 0.1 to again come back to mean means 0.2, then 0.3 and then 0.4. So T is 0.4 second. And now I am asking for the frequency. What do you mean by frequency? Frequency means number of oscillations completed in 1 second. How many oscillations this particle is doing in 0.4 second? In 0.4 second it is performing only one oscillation. So we can do the simple cross multiplication mathematics here. that 0.4 second is equals to one wave. 0.4 second is equals to one wave. Then in 1 second, how many waves can be completed? So 1 into 1, 1, 1 divided by 0.4. So 0.4, let us remove the decimal from here. So it will be like this, 4 upon 10, 10 will be in the numerator. So 10 divided by 4, it's 2, 5s are and 2, 2s are. So answer is 2.5. So 2.5 oscillations can be completed in 1 second. So this is the answer of frequency. So if you see what you have done, it is 1 by 0.4 is the answer of frequency. Now 1 is the simple number. What was 0.4? 0.4 was the periodic time or not? So here we can have a formula for frequency, and whenever you want to find frequency, just you do what? 1 by T. Frequency is equals to 1 by periodic time. Okay, and the unit of frequency, in which terms the frequency, for example, what was the answer here? The answer was 2.5. But what 2.5? So 2, can I say it is 2.5 oscillations per second? Yes, 2.5 oscillations per second means in 1 second the particle is performing 2.5 oscillations. But it is not the way you can write oscillations per second. It is not the proper unit. The proper unit is hertz. It's the name of a scientist. XZ. What was the answer here? It was 2.5 hertz. So what do you mean by 2.5 hertz frequency? It means 2.5 oscillations are completed in 1 second. If I say I have one of the wave having the frequency 40 hertz. So what do you mean by 40 hertz? 40 hertz means 40 oscillations are completed in 1 second. If I say 200 hertz, 200 hertz means 200 oscillations are completed in 1 second. Is that clear? So amplitude means maximum displacement of a wave from its mean position. This is the amplitude. Wavelength means length of one wave. Then we have seen periodic time T, and then we have seen frequency. Frequency is 1 by T. So can you frame the formula for T from this? So T is equal to 1. Can you see that these two are reciprocal of each other? These two are reciprocals of each other. So T, can I say T is equals to 1 by nu? T is equals to 1 by frequency. So time is equals to 1 by frequency, and frequency is equals to 1 by time. This is only for the waves. Last important term is wave speed. How fast the wave is going, how fast the wave is traveling. If I say I have one of the wave like this, the wave is going. Let us say the wave starts from this point and ends here. The distance is 20 meter. From this point to this point, distance is 20 meter. And let us say the time is 2 seconds. The time required by a wave to reach from this point to this point is only 2 seconds, and distance traveled by a wave is 20 meter. So what should be the speed of this wave? So according to the simple formula of speed, distance upon time, distance traveled is 20 meter upon time taken is just 2 seconds. So the answer is what? 10 meter per second. Simple. But let us reduce, or let us find out the formula in terms of waves. You can see how many waves are there. Starting from this point, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this distance, can we say that this distance is 4 wavelength distance? Total distance is 20 meter. So 20 meter is the length of 4 waves. 20 meter is the length of 4 waves. Then what should be this distance? Think by yourself. What should be this distance? Means only one wavelength distance. So I think it should be 20 divided by 4. So the one wavelength distance is 5 meter. So one wavelength is, so this distance is 5 meter. So total time required to travel this distance is 2 seconds. Then what should be its periodic time? Means time required to travel only one wavelength distance. So I think it should be 2 divided by 4. So it will be 0.5 seconds. So we are not going for the whole distance and the whole time. We are going for what? One wavelength distance and time for that. Because the formula for speed is what? Distance upon time. Old formula. So distance upon time. So distance, let us say distance b wavelength distance. If you take the distance as wavelength, you should take time as t. If you take the whole distance and whole time, then also you can find speed. But here in terms of waves, what we do, we are taking the distance as wavelength distance. So we should take time for that only, and that time is t. Periodic time. So the formula becomes what? Lambda by t. So wave speed. Speed is symbolized by v. Symbol for speed is v. This is nu, frequency. Look at the symbol. And wave speed is symbolized by v. Now here we found the formula for wave speed. V is equals to distance upon time. We are taking the distance as one wavelength and we are taking the time as periodic time. So V is equals to lambda by T, important formula. Okay, if you see this, V is equals to lambda by T, then I write the same formula like this. V is equals to lambda into 1 by T, just splitting the terms, lambda by T. So can I write lambda into 1 by T? And what is 1 by T? Can you see that 1 by T is nothing but the frequency. So in place of 1 by T, we can write frequency. So formula becomes V is equals to lambda into frequency. Wavelength into frequency, the new formula we found. Another formula for V is equals to lambda into frequency. This way. Now, from this formula, V is equals to lambda into frequency, this one. Can you form the formula for lambda and keep lambda here and transfer this frequency here in the denominator? So lambda is equals to V by frequency. More formula. Lambda is a formula for wavelength. V means speed by frequency, and same thing you can do for frequency. If you want to form the formula for frequency, transfer this lambda here in the denominator. So frequency is equal to speed by lambda. Frequency is equal to speed by lambda. So these are some important terms related to the wave. These are some important characteristics we have seen of a wave. Many different terms we have seen, two types of graphs, crest, trough, compression, rarefaction, transverse waves, longitudinal waves graph, amplitude, wavelength, periodic time, frequency, wave speed, different formulas, different symbols. I think these all the things are new for you. So please watch these lectures again and again. Please try to make the note of each and everything. Try to write the definition of these words, their units, symbols, formulas. Once you go through these, once you complete this, then only you go for the next lecture. Otherwise, in the next lecture, you will be confused about this speed and lambda and t and nu. Please